Good morning everyone. The aim of this video is to give you a very brief overview of AQA English Language Paper 2, Question 4. Paper 2 is a 1 hour and 45 minute exam paper. It's out of 80 marks, and you are given 2 non-fiction sources to read. Now these will be linked, so about a similar topic, but they will be from different time periods. There are 5 questions to complete on this paper, and I think the best order to complete these in is this order. Question 5 first, then question 3, 1, 4, and finally 2. And the reason for this is that you always get the big mark question out of the way first. Question 3 and question 1 are next, because you only need to read one source for each of those questions. And then for question 4 and 2, you need to have read both sources for them to make sense. So we will leave those questions until last. A question 4 looks something like this. It's focused on the entirety of both sources, so you can take quotations from anywhere in either source. Now Paper 2's full title is English Language Paper 2 Writers' Viewpoints and Perspectives. So on question 4 you are asked to work out how each writer feels about a certain topic, and then you are going to compare these viewpoints or perspectives. Are they similar or different, and how? So in this example, it's asking you to read each source, work out each writer's viewpoint about the event that they're describing, then compare those viewpoints. So you want to be looking for anything that gives you a clue about how the writer feels about that topic. What's their viewpoint? What's their perspective? What's their attitude? And we also get 3 helpful bullet points that basically tell you what's on the mark scheme for this question. It's worth 16 marks, which is 20% of the whole exam paper. Because this question is worth such a big chunk of marks, make sure that you give it plenty of time. I'd recommend that you spend 5 minutes preparing and planning this answer, and 18 minutes writing the response. You should be aiming to write 2 to 3 paragraphs in this time. So in order to get the marks, you need to do 4 things. Identify the viewpoint, perspective, or attitude of each writer in each text. Compare the ideas and perspectives in a clear way, in as detailed a way as you can. Same as the other questions, you need to use a range of quotations. Now for question 4, you could discuss form, language devices, or structural devices. It's all fair game in question 4. Explore them in detail. Look at multiple interpretations and connotations. Now the clearer and more detailed that you can present your ideas and theories, the more marks are available. So find the devices used and explore their effects. And finally, this question is about your ability to compare. It doesn't matter how detailed your analysis is if you only write about one text. You're pretty much capped at 6 marks out of 16 if you only write about one text, so make sure that you write about both. So this is how I'd recommend structuring your answer. A team, B team. Now this stands for A source attitude, technique, evidence, analysis, match. B source attitude, technique, evidence, analysis, match. One A team, B team would count as one analytical paragraph. So let's go through how we actually answer it. First off, start with a very simple introduction that frames your answer in relation to the question. Show that you understand what both texts are about and that you understand the writer's perspectives. Then we get into the answer. Start off with source A. What is the writer of source A's attitude? So in our example question from the previous slide, this will go, within source A, the writer shows that they feel shocked and horrified about the murder of Emmett Till when using the technique of emotive adjectives. Here, you're just showing off your knowledge of subject terminology. Then add in the quotation. Then explore the quotation. How does the quotation that you've just picked show the writer's attitude? Think about connotations. Have they used words that suggest positivity, negativity, violence, peace, and so on? Then you match your analysis with another quotation. And what this means is that you pick an additional quote that shows the writer's attitude and you analyse this one as well. So there we would have 2 analysed quotations for source A. Now if done right, this should mean that your answer contains a lot of analysis where you explain how certain words, phrases, techniques or devices indicate how the writer feels about a certain subject. And then we move on to source B. What is the attitude of the writer of source B? And most importantly, how is it similar or different to the writer of source A? Remember, the main focus of this question is to compare when analysing, so frequent comparisons between sources will work well. Then you would follow the team structure for source B. Identify the technique used, state the evidence, and then analyse it. Explore how this evidence shows the writer's attitude in detail, and then match it with another explored quotation. And finally, a brief conclusion to tie it all together. So remember, your answer needs 4 things: identification of the writer's viewpoint, evidence, analysis of the methods used to show the viewpoint, and comparison between the writer's viewpoints. Are they similar? Are they different? And how? If you follow this structure, it will help you achieve all 4 bullet points. Now these are some pretty generic sentence starters that you could use to get you going, but much more detail can always be added. And that's about it for question 4. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and happy revising.